rolling and unmuted.
Unmuted. And it's only half 2 on a Friday.
Amazing.
We're on time. Hello everyone, welcome back to Friday's video. So mate, got the head on, the RS500. Phone hasn't gone for about an hour. Goes as soon as we turn the old camera on.
25 seconds in, phone starts ringing.
Perfect. So yeah, got the head on, mate.
Lovely.
All looking good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just talking down the old cams now, mate. Give these a good clean up.
Them heads do come up well in the Vapor Blaster, don't they?
They do. Look lovely, don't they?
Yeah.
So this head, spoke to a customer earlier. He rang for a little progress update, although he has been watching the videos. So this one here we have pressure tested because he had a rather severe head gasket issue and he was a bit worried or concerned that there was a crack in one of the ports, but we've tested it and it all seems to be fine.
Pretty rare, isn't it, on these?
Very rare. I don't think I've ever known it in a port, only if it's ported and broke through, but it hasn't really been ported like that. It's been sort of titivated around the edges. So no, as far as I'm concerned, it's all right. Whether it's something to do, I mean, when I took the head off, there was a couple of studs that weren't that tight, to be fair. So whether it was something to do with that, whether it was something to do with the extra piston protrusion causing a bit of
excessive
compression around the bloody, around that area. I don't know.
Literally blowing the head off.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, he's all good. So yeah, just talking the cams down. Got to time it up. So this is going to be done Monday, Tuesday, isn't it?
Lovely. Proper.
Yeah, Friday, mate. What are you doing this weekend?
Going away this weekend. Going down
Lovely.
to St Austell.
Oh, nice.
A nice hotel. So yeah.
Best not mention which hotel, mate. Don't want to be bombarded with fans down there.
No, definitely not. Follow me everywhere.
Absolute nightmare. I know how Tom Hanks feels now.
Bloody famous we are.
Bloody absolutely famous. But yeah, so we'll... should we start off on a negative note?
Well, we could. There's a positive or there's a negative note that we could go down, and I think, yeah, probably the negative.
I'd like to end with a more positive, if there is one. If there is such a thing in here.
We can find one.
Yeah, so I was just chatting earlier with a customer who's also a small business owner. We're having a good chat outside about the stresses, etc., of running a small business. Now, many of you guys that have been following the channel since the beginning or for a while, you will know that we do mention, we seem to have a lot of warranty in the title and claim in the titles, don't we? Which makes us sound a little bit like every job we do is a comeback, but it's not the case.
No, it's very few really, isn't it?
The whole reason for mentioning the warranties and stuff is to just show the processes, as I've said many times before. So if you're new to the channel and you're wondering, you're thinking, blimey, these boys ain't convincing me. That's what it's all about. So we took the executive decision when we started the channel to sort of take that route rather than the old professional, we never do anything wrong, look how good we are approach, which seemed to me like all the engine building channels.
Yeah, a lot of them, they like to keep it very hush-hush, don't they?
They do, yeah.
If they have issues or anything.
We get comments off, I would say, the older generation that have been in this game for years and years, and that seems to me, they're very shocked that I do mention things like that, because I think it's just been, it sort of goes against the grain, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of these warranties or any stuff that comes back, it's never like, it's never like you built one of these Cozzies and the thing has just absolutely let go. And it's, there's maybe there's an oil leak or something is not quite right, or or they've got a sort of strange symptom that they need to work out what it is, and it's not like, I don't know, it's not like it's like these catastrophic issues.
It's very rarely, mate, and it's
little niggly things you've got to sort out, and it's part of the customer service.
This is it. I mean, these days with engines, there's that many nuts and bolts and bits and components you have to assemble together. You're relying on quality of parts, aren't you, these days? I mean, it's a blooming minefield.
It is. You've got to be very careful. Well, it's just like your Cosy oil pumps. Although they're brand new, the ones you buy, you still take them apart and check them for flashing and swarf.
And although we do that, we've still had issues with a couple, haven't we, in the past?
Yeah, of course. You took one apart, it all looked all right, and then once fitted to the engine, the pressure relief valve
decides to stick for no apparent reason.
So, you know, you've looked at the internals of the pump and checked the relief valve.
This is the thing.
Still managed to stick. So unless you
just
those
don't.
Cosworth ones, they've got a core plug, haven't they, that you'd have to remove for the.
Yeah, I think that's the difference in specialising in a particular engine and not, because you tend to know, like the Cosies, I've done so many, you tend to know what bits work. So I tend to buy the same brand off the same people and it works, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't specialise in it and you don't really know, then you're sort of blind really to it, aren't you?
Yeah.
And it's usually never major problems. It's just silly problems like oil leak or something like that. But, you know, but yeah, you very much, it is a bloody nightmare. And that's the reason why I decided to do our channel like that. So it just shows you the processes. And we've had a lot of, I mean, we do have comments off people saying, oh, you know, you seem to show a lot of warranties and it doesn't look very good and all this. But on the other hand, we have a lot of small business owners that watch our channel. And it's like a breath of fresh air to them because they go through the same thing. They got no one to talk to or anything like that. They feel like they're on their own, and I think watching our channel, they think, blimey, it's quite refreshing for them. And that's what this chap was saying today. So if it helps people, mate, it's ideal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, on the subject of sort of warranties and stuff like this, mate, we mentioned this one actually a few videos ago, but this is the sort of stuff that we have to deal with. I mean, we've had it 2 or 3 times this year where people complain of a problem and they go out of their way to try and get money back, but they won't send the job back. So we go through our correct procedure.
Yeah, our procedure is first step, bring it back, we'll look over it, inspect it, and if there's problems, we'll notify you of what we found, and then we will rectify it. And
this is the thing.
That's the process, isn't it?
Well, that's the way it is, isn't it? I mean, that's the laws. We've reserved the right to rectify something that we've remanufactured or something like that. So it baffles me. As I say, we've got this one recently where we did a bunch of work. It's not a massive bill, 500-600 quid's worth of work to the cylinder head, etc., bits and bobs, and he's now claiming that it's not satisfactory. He's listed some bits that that he feels is not correct. Although he's not a professional, that's the way he feels, and at the end of the day, he's fitting them, so he's quite within his right to question things.
Absolutely, yeah.
But he needs to send it back, and we need to have the right to rectify anything that he's.
It's one of those ones where he doesn't, seems like he's not going to be happy until we say, all right, then here's all your money back.
Well, this is the trouble. And I always get a bit suspect when they continually go on. They're sending letters, emails, messages, going right out their way to avoid sending it back.
Yeah.
I get a little bit suspicious by that for whatever reason they're doing it.
It's a bit odd. It's, especially considering we're offering to rectify it for nothing.
Exactly.
And sort it out.
Yeah.
Any issue that we feel is an actual issue.
We'd have to be some sort of idiot to just go hand in money. I mean, anyone could do that with any job that anyone does in any industry, couldn't they? We always use the
supermarket.
The supermarket, don't we?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same things. Only when you put it into that context, when you use that as an example, it sounds ridiculous. But for some reason, people don't seem to think it sounds ridiculous in this industry.
No.
If you went and bought a chicken from Tesco.
Return of the chicken.
Return of the chicken, mate.
Or
We
not.
always use the chicken because it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because it is. If you bought a chicken from a supermarket and you weren't happy with that chicken, then you'd have to take it back, wouldn't you? You'd have to take it back to either get your money back or an exchange.
Well, you'd
or
have to
something
take
like
at
that.
least your receipt back with the chicken and say,
Yeah.
this is the chicken I bought.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
You know, but all they're going to turn around and say, if you go out your way, if you ring them up and say, you know, I want a full refund for me chicken, what are they going to say, mate?
They're going to say, bring it back to us.
We want our chicken.
We want our chicken back.
Isn't it?
What are we
Really?
going on about?
Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's the same thing.
It
So
is.
just bear that in mind, guys. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you small business owners out there will understand exactly where we're coming from. But if you're not and you're thinking about sending things in, just bear that in mind, because we will not be refunding any money if we haven't had the right to, or you haven't given us the chance to rectify any issues that you're complaining about.
Yeah.
Not that we set out to produce any issues.
No,
obviously,
absolutely
if
not.
there is, then we need to first of all have a look, because at this stage it's your word against, not even against ours, but it's just we're taking your word for it. So yeah, a bit of a strange one.
It is, yeah.
But it all adds to the stress of running a business, doesn't it? And I think
does.
you're realising that a bit now,
I
aren't
am,
you? Just even
definitely.
taking phone calls.
Yeah.
It's very stressful, mate.
It's like a bit of a frustration, isn't it? Because you feel like you're offering something fair to them. You're
Yeah.
saying, you know, bring it back, we'll sort it out, whatever. But then when they continue to not cooperate,
Yeah.
it does get a bit, it's like, well,
Well, the most
what am I meant
frustrating
to
bit
do
about
now?
it, yeah, the most frustrating bit about it is usually how it ends is they go on and on and on. You don't get anywhere, and even if you get the thing back, they're sick of you. They're almost annoyed that you haven't done it, and they go off and either badmouth you or give you a bad review.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not fair, is it?
Well, no, because although, well, I can understand, like, yeah, you got every right to leave a review, but it's not just about sort of the issue. It's about how it's handled, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if they have already decided from the start that they aren't going to do what you're asking them to do, which, you know, if we're asking for it back, we're within our rights to do that.
Yeah.
If they've already decided that they don't want to, then they're going to be annoyed with you from the start.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, so it is hard, mate.
Yeah.
But that's enough of the moaning. I'm sure people get the gist of what we're going on about now. Just put that on. Finish that for today.
Lovely,
Just put that
that.
on to cover it up. But doesn't that look nice?
Yeah.
Fresh RS 500 lump. Very nice. Got the Quaif peg type pulleys here.
You like them ones,
I
don't
love
you?
these, mate. They're so easy to set up. They're beautiful.
They do
So-
look cool as well on these.
So I'll finish that on Monday. Be nice. Hopefully, if the pump turns up, sent us the wrong oil pump. So, but anyway, mate, let me take the camera and you can show us what you're stripping down there
Okie dokie.
on a positive note. Do your hair, mate. Make sure you do
Sort
your
my hair out.
Do your hair. Looking wonderful. That looks distinctly like a Scooby-Dooby.
It is. It was half of one.
Half of one. You could not wait to get that on the stand, could you, today?
I couldn't. No, I couldn't.
C-Tech's down there,
yeah.
all bagged up,
Bagged
ready
up.
to go.
Yeah, so I've got one head off.
Yeah.
I've managed to get the cam pulleys off.
So that's to start with. The cam pulleys are the biggest issue, aren't they? The bolts are so tight.
They're like the first thing to come off. They're not. I don't think they're even very tight.
Really?
I think it's because they've got this big flat head on them.
Yeah, and it sort of
And
bites in.
it just sort of holds very, very well.
Yeah.
And they're notoriously difficult to get off.
Okay.
And in the end, it turned out I could do it with. I managed to do it with your big Milwaukee impact gun.
Nice.
So I could do it with that.
So
Still
do
a
we-
bit of a struggle. It did struggle a bit.
Do you
but
reckon that these have been off before then, or not?
I don't know. Normally people replace the bolts anyway
Yeah.
when they take them off. So
Oh well, at least you've done that, mate, without having to
Yeah.
spend an hour or two drilling.
yes, because that's the only other option really is drill them out.
So
So-
first thing we notice is it's a bit grubby, isn't it?
Yeah, bit grubby. They sort of get like that really.
Yeah. Any disastrous any disasters with the first head and the face? And
No,
that?
it all actually looks pretty good.
Oh, nice.
I think there might be one little area that looks a bit blowy on the head, but
Yeah.
it's a Subaru, they like to blow head gaskets.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I think you say it's done an end or something, this one?
Apparently it's done an end. It's got a knock-in, mate, so being a Subaru, I suspect I almost put money on it, something to do with the crank.
But this one is...
But he wants a new crank kit and rods and pistons and all a bit jazzy, mate, so...
So, nothing looks too bad in there.
Well, the one thing he did want in it was a bracing kit, but we don't have to put it in this one, do we?
Yeah, I don't actually think you can get a bracing kit for these because
this is all braced.
Yeah, it's braced.
Usually they're open top deck, aren't they?
Yes, it depends on... There's loads of different variants of the EJ20 block.
Well, that's good then. You'll be happy about that.
I think they call this the semi-closed deck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's a good idea. Basically, if they come without this, it's like a semi-open deck, which means that down to the water jacket, all this is just sort of hovering about here.
Yeah,
in the water
so normally
jacket.
they're only joined there and there.
Yeah.
And then those 4 little bits are...
So they can do. I think they do like a kit, which is almost like a machined aluminium insert that
you
sort of
whack it in and then machine over the top.
Exactly, and it just braces it, but it does exactly what that does. So
yeah,
that's good news, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Balls look, from what I can, they look glazy, but they look all right.
Ideal.
And I don't know. Obviously, I don't know which rods knock in, but don't think it's either of these two because the pistons don't look like they've been hit in the head.
No.
Which they normally do on these.
Oh, okay.
If they're knocking.
Nice.
But yeah, so I'll get the other head off and then I can start cracking on getting the bottom end to bits.
Lovely job, mate.
A bit interesting on these, but...
Lovely job.
Yeah.
Well, sure you look forward to putting that one back together when you blasted it all and...
Yeah. I'm going to do a bit of research on this because I thought most of these were hydraulic lifters, but this one's solid.
Nice.
I thought it was.
We've had plenty of heads in the past, and some of them are solid, some are hydraulic.
Yeah.
But I suppose solid is better for a tuned motor, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you just got to be, when you're stripping it down like I have done, you've got to lay it all out and.
Yeah, keep it sort of in order. And so instead of the hydraulic bucket, you've got just a solid bucket here. Some of them are shim over bucket.
Yeah.
But these are an actual solid. And you can see in the base there's a number 493 on that one, which means
that's probably the thickness.
Yeah, you can buy different buckets depending on your clearance, but obviously that one's 500. But we will obviously, because we've got the heads off, we're going to be doing it in situ, so we'll be taking it off the valves, won't we? Yeah,
probably. I'm not sure you can buy those buckets.
Oh, okay.
You can buy the shims if they're shim over bucket, but I don't think you can get a range of solid buckets anymore.
No. Well, that solves that then, doesn't it?
Yeah, so kind of got to do it that way.
Ideal, mate.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing it all cleaned up.
Yeah.
They look lovely when they're all blasted.
Yeah, they blast really well. For some reason, they just all the corrosion just falls right off.
Yeah.
So.
Ideal. Well, that's it, mate. We'll call it a day, shall we?
Where's that? We need a positive note.
That was the positive note.
That was the positive note. All right.
And another positive note, hope you have a lovely weekend. I'm going to the Lighting of the Lights in Ilfracombe tonight with the children.
Lovely.
Very nice, mate.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Always a good event, isn't it?
It is quite a good event, really. Good get-together, the community.
High Street's absolutely full.
Yeah, lovely. Bit of street food.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. We'll have a nice time in St Austell.
Thank you, mate. I shall try.
It's all right, buddy. And till Monday's video, have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.